All right, so given the graph of y equals g of x, this time we're going to be looking for the zeros of g of x. And basically, when you have a zero, what you're looking for is any x value, um, you know, anytime that g of x is going to be equal to 0. Whatever values of x that cause that this function g to go to 0, that's what's called the zeros of the function or the zeros of the graph. And whenever you have a graph like this, it's very easy to identify them because you just look to see where it's crossing, well, the value, excuse me, where the output is y equal to 0. So if you recall from finding x-intercepts, whenever you have the graph crossing the x-axis, the output or the y value will always be equal to 0. Okay, so and just kind of put a little side note. Well, y, all right, equal to 0. So in this case, you can see here clearly the y value is equal to 0 here. Okay, anything along the x-axis, the y value will be equal to 0. Here's, let me mark this, y. Here's x. So what value of x gives me a y value equal to 0? The first one is 1. And then the second point is going to be and 5. So in other words, if I take g of 1, that's going to give me 0. And if I take g and plug in a 5 for x, then the output is going to be equal to 0. Okay, so that's how you determine the zeros of the function.